It seems like manufacturers just copy each other and they end up building the same thing the same way all the time. What if I told you this cool, giant rear, huge dining bar in the back of this RV wasn't even its biggest secret? Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd down here at our Anderson, Indiana store, taking a look at a new Vibe model that totally slipped under my radar initially. This is the new 31HB, and people ask me all the time, what do the letters stand for? Well, I looked at it, I just glanced at the floor plan, I'm like, well, it must mean huge bar, because it's got this giant rear dining bar on the back of it. And what I like about this is a neat alternative like the 28RL Vibe, which is like a rear sofa, super slide on the campsite with all the windows. It's an interesting half twist on that. But then I walked in, and I looked at it, and I went, oh my gosh. This is the Vibe version of the Wildwood View hidden bunk office multi-function room. I didn't even know this existed. I spend all day, every day living in this industry, and stuff still gets by me. And I like it anytime a manufacturer does something different. Now, I think it's fun. I think it's crazy. I think it's cool. Whether it is functional and useful for you, I don't know. But I know that it is different and neat, and I kind of like it. I really think that this version of this really works very well more as a couples camper with a sort of hidden office craft room or like dog kennel kind of room or like, I don't know, something like that, rather than a traditional bunkhouse. Because it really has primary seating just for two butts. It's not like a big family camper. But if you're going to occasionally have like a grandkid guest or something like that, but you don't want to give up an entire RV for like 10 foot of bunk room, this is a really cool, interesting alternative that, again, totally shocked me. I didn't see it coming. Now, its greatest asset is its greatest liability. Building for that secret hidden slide room, it applies weird pressure to other areas on the RV that maybe you're like, oh, I can deal with that, or you're like, it's too janky, I don't like it anymore. Either way, I'm going to try to show you where she shines and where she doesn't. I'd love to hear from you what you think about it. And if you like how we share you the good with the bad, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's check this one out, because if nothing else, at least it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm Josh the RV Nerd. I'm spitting all over the camera over here. Gross. And you know, this one may not be quite as exciting as like I feel it is right now, but you know, it tricked me, and that doesn't happen to me very often. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything about RVs, but it's not often a manufacturer they get one past me. Like usually I can look at just a floor plan for it, and I pretty much know what I'm looking at. And I didn't catch this one. This is a interesting, fun, different little thing. Like right over here, just like the little extra, I don't know, wine cooler, extra fridge. You know, in my household, we actually just picked up something very, very similar to that. Just, you know, for when we have guests over and, you know, just a place to keep drinks because, you know, my wife does like custom cakes. Sometimes she's incredible. She could make a profession out of it on like the Food Network if she wanted to. That's just not her thing, you know. I almost wonder if at some point they hadn't considered making this like a desk space because you got those outlets and everything right there. It almost felt like they considered that. But then later in this floor plan, you'll see they didn't need to because it already has a desk space in it. Their door and drawer fronts are also a little bit different. I think that they're basically a heavily painted like I think it probably is like a formed compressed board kind of thing. So like a particle board front, but it's seamless. There's no joints where it could fall apart. So I don't know. Unless you go reefing on that sucker, I don't see how it's going to be a problem. The Vibe is generally very good about doing like no floor vents, and I like how they executed their carpetless slide flooring. That makes sense to me. The window coverage is awesome on this thing. That's one of the best parts about it. And this one's interesting. This is one of those Euro-style windows right here. And just in case you're not familiar with these, they actually have day-night shades built right into them. But if you notice, manufacturers finally started listening. They're installing them basically upside down for what the manufacturer initially expected, so that your privacy shade pulls from the bottom up. So if you wanted it half and half like that, standing in the RV, you can still see out and peek out. But people from ground level have a real hard time checking you out. Although I'm seeing legs move in that camper next door over there. That's kind of funny. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with an unexpected special guest in a few minutes here. Um, some of these models people haven't really loved the furniture coloring, and in this one, since it doesn't have a dinette, it just has that theater seat. I don't know. I'm not a home decor guy. Is it? Do you not like it? Is it okay? Or does it feel out of place? I don't know. Oh, before I forget, that is a theater seat. Two theater seats with a fold down middle console. So it's either cuddle compliant or you can get that out of there if you're so inclined. Now, what's a little bit goofy is this slide over here on the campsite of the RV is not as deep as me. It's only about half as deep as most campsite, like compared to the 28RL, which has a sofa dinette traditional super slide. It's super deep and has slide side windows. This one does not. It's a more shallow slide. But I don't think anyone is reasonably going to say we're lacking windows in this floor plan. I don't think that's the case myself. But this thing back here, this is what I thought HB stood for. I thought it meant huge bar. And I think this is cool because when I see owners doing DIY work, I see so many people install something like this. Seeing it done from the factory, overlooking all the windows, I think that's very cool. Now, whether it's going to work for you really kind of depends on the exact orientation of your campsite. And both the left and right sides of the HB Huge Bar have household and USB outlets, both Type A and Type C. I want to be fair, though. I try to call a spade and a duck. I have seen about, you could probably sweep up about 2 pounds of random factory sawdust and like little clipped off bits of wire and whatnot in here. And those are all things that we go through and we clean out for you best we can. But there's a lot in this RV. Then again, it has a lot of woodworking. Let me check this out. You've got this 50-inch TV that you're just straight across from this sucker. I mean, if anyone ever says the TV is too small and you're too far away from it, you just you need binoculars or get your eyes. I don't know, because you are on top of this thing right here. And of course, you have your electric space heat and Tootsie Toaster. Now we're going to see the hidden room behind it in a few minutes. You might notice there is the one single floor heat vent right there. That's interesting. I wonder if that's supposed to help that private room. I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry. But some folks will say, well, if you turn on that fireplace, isn't it going to bake the people inside the slide? And the answer is no. By literal design, it pushes the hot air toward us right now, not back toward that room. The back side of this thing is going to stay cool. All of the heat goes out the front side. That's how these things work. And we're going to come back to that hidden room thing in just a minute. Anytime I do these hidden room things, I always end up forgetting a bunch of stuff in like the kitchen living room, and I don't want to do that here. That is a 10 plus cubic foot, 12 volt compressor fridge. You'll also see as we fly through, that is a electric air fryer, convection microwave oven up top there in the kitchen as well. Plus, you do still have a normal propane oven. But one of the interesting things here, this RV has multiple pantries, starting right over here with the one in the slide. What's cool is it actually includes a little wastebasket right down in there too. So it is kind of a trash can behind a door, but at least they're thinking about it. And I'm going to give a manufacturer credit when they think about a trash can instead of the manufacturers who don't think about a trash can, which seems to be quite a few of them. Overall, I think the kitchen and stuff is all pretty straightforward, but again, when you go through it, when you really open stuff up, you see that there is a lot of storage in this sucker. All around the entertainment center, built right on the face of that slide, there's storage. And we're going to see that this thing has a big open cavity behind the slide that some people may just use for extra storage space. The question I can't seem to get an answer from the factory, which I think is a great question for people to ask, and I would want to know as a potential owner, how much weight can I put in that slide? I don't know. Manufacturers haven't rated it and tested it for us. Now, here's the thing. This is not your traditional RV slide. There are all kinds of like support rollers and stuff going on under this because it will be a heavier weight thing. But I don't know if they've actually done weight testing. I'm not sure on that, so apologies there. This is, I think, a very fun thing in here, though, and it's a trick pony. This is not like, oh, this is going to be the most popular one. Maybe it. I don't know. I doubt it. But to begin with, it includes the little office chair, and that is a fold-up down shelf. So if you want to use it as desk space, you can. And if you notice, there are a set of power outlets hiding down there in the bottom left. Hold on, you can't see them. Power outlets in the bottom left corner. Bang, nailed it, first try. And you know, you can privatize this thing. You can close all those windows. And there actually is an air ducting system that will suck air out of the, the central air system and then, pump it down into this room. So you're not sitting in here sweating to the oldies like, Richard Simmons. Now, if I get all that out of the way, like one of the things I think they did that's really nice over here is they built in those little steps. So, one of the little ones can walk their way to that upper bunk. But nothing says this has to be a bunk room. I think the HB probably stands for hidden bunk. I don't think it has to be a bunk room, though. The thing is, like, you've got TV hookups over here. This could be a little private den, nook, just a little fun hidey hole kind of space, a little secret library, maybe. And these bunk mattresses, they're just loose. You want to get this thing out of here and leave this wide open and like put dog kennels and stuff in here? You could absolutely do that. Nothing says this has to be a bunk room. Now, again, I like to try to be clear. If you notice where that where that thing slides, or rather swings open, it's exactly where that fourth chair used to be. So I almost think this floor plan works better with only 3 of those standing chairs instead of the 4th one. So you just don't end up accidentally creating a crushing conflict point between a couple people. Before I forget, these cable systems up here. If you reach above the slide, if you can feel the cable pulley system, that's an AccuSlide system. If it's a cable slide but you can't feel the cable stuff up there, that will be Exact Slide. They're made by the same manufacturer. They each serve a slightly different purpose. Some people feel better about one versus the other. I'm just letting you know which one is which so you can know what you're looking at and how to spend your money, basically. The outlets over here are in nice locations, but again, trying to be fair, whoever mounts the outlets in this, they need to take just half a beat. Like the one on the left is fine. The one on the right is a little bit cattywampus. Not terrible, but there's one in the bedroom that's seriously on like a 23-degree angle. It's just such an eyesore. It's easy to fix, but it's a stupidly easily avoided kind of dumb thing. You know what I mean? The bathroom and bedroom, actually, if you've seen my video on the 28 RL, this is exactly the same. They just reprinted the front end of this thing, and they just came up with a totally different living room arrangement. So you don't see the medicine cabinet over there, in the mirror. I just noticed too. I don't like that. You're not careful, you're gonna break that mirror. You need to put one of those little rubber grommets on this thing. Now, this has always surprised me about Vibes. I don't know exactly how this happens because they're taller inside. They're like a 6'9" ceiling, but my head's always in the skylight of them. Usually, as a person who's a little bit over 6 foot myself, if the RV's 6'9" tall, my head's not in the skylight. So this one's always been a little odd to me that way, that door was leaning on me. I thought when I backed up it was going to go ahead and close itself, so I didn't have to do it on camera, but here we are. What do you think about this? They do a pivot door. They don't do a sliding door. And it makes the doorway a little more narrow, perhaps. But let me get you around the corner here. First of all, as we're weaving around the corner, perfect time to look at the fact that this is available 50 amp. This is available not just a second air, but it ties into the central ducting. That's another +1 bonus feature right there. So that is providing, basically, now we have a 30,000 BTU air system. I wouldn't be surprised on the HB model if that's forced standard to help really climate control this sucker. Now, I think the reason they go with the pivot door is so that you have TV hookups across from the bed, but I hate that. I hate that. It's so easy to fix. But let me be fair, as a person who also spends money, I don't spend my money any different than you. When I see a crooked power outlet, my brain immediately says, what else did they not do right? fair. You know, I try to be fair in my videos. And even if they did everything else right, it really makes you go, it's just annoying, it's stupid. And it's not something I see them do consistently, but I've seen a couple of them in this model. I do believe, if my eyes aren't tricking me here, that's I believe that's a short queen bed, but they do tend to leave room in here for a true queen. I think it would be really nice if they just joined Team True Queen myself, but that's just me. Actually, while we're looking down this way, sorry if I made you motion sick jerking the camera a little bit there, cracking that open, I do like the wicker baskets. I'm a fan of that kind of stuff. And it's good storage space over the bed, but it is not self-supporting. So you have to climb on the bed, you have to lift it up, hold it with your head, dig in there to get your underwear or whatever, and then do what you got to do. I do like anytime a manufacturer gives us those little headboard power pockets, though. And by the way, this big brown thing, it's just a little space fill and decorative cushion if you want to kind of use it like a daytime book nook, although with the radius action on the front of this, I don't know that I would want to do that. I think my battery's getting low. I might have to go change batteries because the lights are in here are starting to flicker on me. So I guess you don't care what I got to do. I'm just going to go do what I got to do to close the slides. My apologies. I'm not going to be able to show you road mode on this one today. I carry 2 battery boxes, even when I travel like this, just in case this happens. One is charging while I'm using one, and I can always keep them topped off. Unless somebody decides to go use my other box, and then leave it dead in the office and not charge it back up while I'm gone. So, my apologies. Today, despite my best efforts, I lack the power to close up the slides on this thing to show you road mode. So I can only estimate certain things. So first of all, the door side slide over here, that's going to close up. I can eyeball, that's coming right up to the island. So there's no walking through here. I don't know that you really need to. The one that I'm not sure about is this slide over here. Because if you look at where that entertainment center bumps out, I'm thinking that entertainment center is going to come right up to about the island. So there's going to be a little bit of space on this side. But if you look at the orientation of the refrigerator door, let me get back here. It opens this way. I don't know that we're really going to be able to get back here. These hidden room models tend to be best used at a destination. They tend not to be fantastic for getting there. And one other thing that I do want to mention is, you know, this is on a magnet pole, the hidden room, but there is oh, my knees are hurting today. I got to lose some weight. You can see that there is a latch. There's a big bolt latch system right there so that this door doesn't go jiggle banging down the road while this thing's roller quaking all over the place, which is, by the way, the technical term for when you put your house in a paint mixer. For towing this thing, I think my generalized recommendation probably is going to be some variety of 3/4 ton. Largely due to just the physical size of it. You know, the what, 9,900 pound GVW, whatever it is, that's technically within the capabilities of some half tons, but this sucker is long. And it doesn't really have any sort of super duper upgrade fancy handling suspension package or anything. Now, obviously, you're going to want a good weight distributing and anti-sway hitch to go with it, but the longer the RV, the more easily it pushes around a vehicle. And when you have a vehicle with a lighter curb weight and a little bit softer suspension, like a half ton, I feel like this thing could shove it around pretty readily. Now, we're at a tricky way to be able to display this stuff for you, but I'm going to get up here and do the best I can. Obviously, we've got dual power awnings. They're each 11 foot, by the way. And it's interesting on this floor plan, they've still maintained that single Euro window kind of above the little drink bar, whatever we want to call it, you know. I don't know, I mean, those are great for airflow, but it's like this floor plan, I don't know that has the best purpose and function, but I don't know that I hate it either. We do have power tongue jack. We have power corner stabilizers all the way around this one as well. And I do like how they handle their pass-through here. So it is especially on this side, it is huge and easy to get to. The reason I like the wide door over here is if you have folding outdoor picnic tables or the really nice folding zero gravity chairs, they're easy to get in and out of here. And the little pegboard organizer over here allows you to really kind of customize the space however you want, really. And then over there on the other side, Well, this is where we're going to have our docking station. Your solar charge controller is also right in there, which I don't like the location of that. This is just my personal 2 cents. I personally like it when the solar charge controller is basically up by the main control panel. That makes the most sense to me. I want my control panel stuff all in one spot. I also don't like that electric control down in the wet bay. I'm sure it's probably fine, but it just doesn't make me feel comfy and awesome, you know what I mean? These do not ride on a Lippert frame. That's another thing. They ride on a different chassis. It is a Norco chassis, so it's like a more huck-bolted variety rather than just a traditional I-beam. And currently, their little remote package that comes on these, it's a basic extended camp thing. It's not a severe aggressive boondock camper kind of thing. It just has a basic battery, a basic solar panel up on the roof, for battery tending, and that's pretty much all it is, obviously, along with that charge controller. To go much beyond that, you're going to be doing some DIY work, or, we can do stuff for you. Tankless on-demand water heater. Here's something a lot of people don't seem to realize. Some people are saying they just, they're constantly burning my propane, and they're not. And someone said, well, yeah, they are. They have to have the pilot light going, and they don't do that. They only have an electronic spark ignition when they need to turn on. So when you're not using it, it's not touching your propane. It only uses it when it needs to. So they actually conserve propane instead of burn it. This is a single sewer outlet RV, by the way. And they had this extra little pocket here. I was kind of like, huh. And as far as I can tell, because this exists under the kitchen, it's not big enough for like a wastebasket space. There's no special access. I'm estimating it's just basically going to function as an access panel to some things like maybe like your water pump for winterizing. I'm not entirely sure. And if I'd have walked over on this side of the RV, I would have known immediately what this was. But today was the first time I've personally seen this RV. Because those windows in that slide, that's a dead giveaway that it has that hidden room in there. I've just never seen it, and I had only seen the nose and the campsite, and that just looks like any other couples camper with opposing slides. So, congratulations, Vibe. I'm a professional looker-atter at campers and proof that I don't know everything, and that's why I still walk through these things and I still put these videos together, because something always finds a way of surprising me, Your roof is walkable, by the way. They just don't include a ladder for it, but it is prepped for one if you feel like picking one up off, like, I don't know, Amazon or our shop or something. It's kind of, I'm still trying to figure out how this one got past me, and maybe it's just because it doesn't actually say, like, 31 view or something like that. I don't know, but this is an interesting little hidden gem out there. I don't know that the videos do these hidden room things justice. I think you need to see them in person, and I think you're going to know right away. Either you're like, yeah, this works, or you're like, nope, not for me, because there's not a whole lot of in between. I will leave you links to some of the other view sort of RVs that the Forest River families have let out. I don't know. Let me know which one you'd go with and why. Let me know because this is one of the more unique ones. I haven't seen somebody else do exactly like this, which I like. I like that they're coming up with different creative ways of doing it. Doesn't mean it's the best way necessarily for you, but I thought it was fun. I'll leave you links, of course, in the description. Check pricing as well. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Have a great day.